Welcome to part 2 of 10 of the Clearspan Baum compliance training series. Here's the link to the training videos and presentations along with a link to the OpEasy training, including the latest release, OpEasy 21.1. Part 2 will focus on our recommendations of how to address compliance requirements for mobile, pneumatic, and wired devices. Part 2. There are three types of non-fixed 911 call origination devices: soft clients on mobile devices, soft clients on pneumatic/PC devices, and SIP wired phones. 911 calls from these device types are sent to the Clearspan cores and then forwarded to the Intrado Emergency Routing Service, or the ERS. Based on the information in the ERS database, the call is forwarded to the 911 call center, the Public Safety Answering Point, also known as PSAP, along with the dispatchable location of the 911 caller. For soft clients on mobile devices, the soft client should be configured to prefer the cellular connection for 911 calls and only utilize the voice over IP connection as a backup if the cellular connection is not available. The preference for the cellular connection is based on new technology for both Apple iOS devices and Google Android devices. Both companies have partnered with a company called RapidSOS that provides advanced location information for 911 calls. In the event that the cellular connection is not available for a 911 call, the client can send the call request to the Clearspan cores via Wi-Fi. Clearspan will forward the call to the Emergency Routing Service, where it will deliver the call into Intrado's 911 call center, the Emergency Call Relay Center, ECRC, to obtain the dispatchable location from the caller. For soft clients on PCs, also referred to as pneumatic devices, it is recommended to use a lightweight client from Intrado called Location Manager, or LM. Location Manager detects connection changes with Wi-Fi access points and also IP address changes. Location Manager can be configured to recognize on-net environments versus off-net environments. When on-net, upon the detection of a change in network connectivity, the Location Manager will update its network location to the Intrado ERS automatically. When off-net, the detection of a change in network connectivity, the Location Manager will prompt the user to provide location information. When entered, the information is sent to the Intrado Emergency Routing Service, ERS, where the address is validated against a master street address guide. If the address is valid, the dispatchable location for that device is updated. If the address fails validation, the user is prompted again for a valid address. Location Manager client can store up to 100 locations. The Location Manager is unique for each Clearspan enterprise, and once installed, the client resides in the PC's tool tray. Intrado has a Location Manager for both Windows and Mac devices. It's important to note that Location Manager should never be used with a Microsoft Teams client. For wired SIP endpoints, i.e. desktop phones, there are two categories for 911 originators. The first category is for phones that can support the HELD protocol with a LIS service. HELD stands for HTTP Enabled Location Delivery, and LIS is Location Information Service. I will provide more detail of the interactions of the phone with the LIS using the HELD protocol in part 7 of this series, but effectively it's mapping your network components to a dispatchable location in the Intrado LIS service, and the HELD capable phones discover their location in that network. The second category is for phones that cannot support HELD/LIS. For those phones, there are the following options to be compliant. The customer can lock the network down to prevent someone from moving a phone to a different location and statically provisioning the device and its dispatchable location in the Intrado ERS. The customer can also track location changes manually and manually provide updates via the ERS portal individually or via a spreadsheet. The last option is to build a custom solution to monitor and update location changes. 911 calls from either category of SIP wired endpoints will be sent to the Clearspan cores and then forwarded to the Intrado ERS. The ERS will select the correct public safety answering point, or PSAP, which is the 911 call center, based on the dispatchable location associated with the device. There are currently 2 phone manufacturers that are being validated for the Clearspan service, Mitel and Poly. The held/list capabilities are limited to the Mitel 6800 and 6900 phone models, and the Poly VVX models, excluding the conference phones. Once the validation is completed, any existing Clearspan applicable phone would be required to be at the correct firmware level to support the held/list functionality. The use of held and list is based on mapping your network into the Intrado ERS. More detail will be provided in Part 7 of this series. It is important to note that held is not expected to work for a remote worker due to the lack of network capabilities. If a remote worker has a SIP wired phone, you should provision the phone with a static dispatchable location in the Intrado ERS. The upcoming Part 3 will cover what a dispatchable location is and how to define them. It will also cover emergency response location, ERL, and how they are associated with dispatchable locations. The Clearspan team would like to thank you for your time spent reviewing this information, and we look forward to our collective future. Thank you.